सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. May there be happiness for all, peace for all, completeness and wholeness for all, and auspiciousness for all. What happens when you are doing the practice every day without fail? The moment you wake up in the morning and you just, even on the bed, it is good to sit with eyes closed and then you chant the mantra loudly to make you fully awake. So what happens basically, you wipe the floor of the mind and you move beyond the old habits. It's all question of your commitment. So, do you love your intellect? You choose that mantra intellectually, not living in it. That will cause the problem. So why we are not living in the mantra? Because of the habitual impulsive mind. So peace and happiness, it's a reminder, are our nature when you are practicing the Mangalacharan. You never let the dust hide your shine. That is the meaning of another perspective of the Mangalacharan mantra. There are 3,000 texts, and every text gives you a different explanation of this mantra. So you can open the eyes and just allow the intellect to contemplate. Why cling to the incidents of heart, anxiety? Why not peace within us? Why do we cling to the stories of the heart repeated by the mind? Because we repeat emotions and memories years after year without giving ourselves permission to heal. Well, why I'm not giving a permission? Because I'm repeating the same thing. So unripe ego also has a repetition. The mind gets caught in ignorance. So now you have understood, mind is here, the intellect is here. So I have not to go choose the mind. Default mind repeats the past. Causes either the regret or worries or hatred. So whenever we have a sense of anxiety, of hurt and hatred and reaction and duality, it is my mind. I can change it immediately by the discerning intellect. Provided I have repeated consciously, I have understood the meaning, then discerning intellect can get rid of it. No, it is not happening. No, let it happen. You continue to do it. It will definitely happen. But if you are repeating only habitually and mechanically, it will not happen at all. It will not happen at all. Why? Knowledge we get at the intellectual level. What is what we talk about? The discerning intellect. We have to turn this knowledge into a lived wisdom. And to turn this knowledge into a lived wisdom, we need a knowledge, means understanding, and the practice. So when you are doing it, when you are saying, may there be happiness for all, you see, let the intellect perceive the happiness everywhere. So when it perceives the happiness everywhere, then you convert this knowledge into a lived wisdom. But if you are simply repeating it mechanically and habitually, then obviously you will return with a complaint that it is not happening. Understand again, default mind, habit, and ego drive automatic reactions, rooted in anxiety, fear, reaction. But discerning intellect seeing the truth and responding wisely. May there be happiness for all. And say, for example, that I look at a one person with whom I have a reaction, I'm imposing. I'm pushing the mind beyond. No, let there be happiness here with this guy also. Then only the cognitive change takes place. That is what is known as the knowledge should convert into a lived wisdom. That is why Master says, once you are a seeker, you are always a seeker. Live your life as a seeker. So if you don't live your life as a seeker, then you are living your life with an unripe ego. Then motivation from the mind is going to cause the problem. So now you see the rule. The default mind turns situations into a problem, incident, reacting impulsively, justifying itself. But when you use the discerning intellect, the true wisdom is knowledge applied. You are listening, you are learning, contemplating, reflecting, and applying the teaching. So during the application of the teaching, the sama takes birth in your mind. Dhamma takes birth in your mind. Titiksha, uparama takes birth in your mind. Titiksha takes birth in your mind. Instantly. Somebody said you, reacted to you, and instantly uparama is there and titiksha is there, resilience. Oh, it's okay. He does not understand what I want to convey. I'm really sorry. And just you take another route. So what is the point I'm making? That lived wisdom. So when the wisdom knowledge is applied, then what happens? From inside you, the sama, dhamma, uparama, and titiksha take birth in your mind. Now it has taken birth in your mind. So default mind has changed now. Do you see that how our masters have explained so beautifully at a very subtler level? You can understand that how at the subtler level they have understood the mind and the intellect and the unripe ego and the ego to bring about a transformation in our life. Ultimate goal is the awakening and realization of the self. Huh? Ultimate goal is that. But you see, I just want to give you some. That is why I talked about it. That sama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha takes birth. Even if you have not understood, even if you have not learned the Eastern wisdom, they take the birth. Provided instead of default mind, you are using the discerning intellect. Discerning intellect comes with listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, practice, and the experience. So you cultivate resilience. You are honoring intellect in a chaotic world. World is, if the world you take it as a chaotic chaos, we are living in an age of anxiety. So if I am in anxiety, I have to also be considerate. The others are also living in anxiety. So there comes samadhama, uparama, and titiksha. So now I have a strong shield. So if I honor the intellect, I can start living a totally different kind of the life. Think of your mind as a ship navigating a stormy sea. The default mind is like an unsteady rudder, tossing the ship into the reactive waves. That is what the world outside is. Not what to talk of the world outside. You have even in your family members. They are also living in the same haze of anxiety. They also have the same problem. So your journey starts of self-discovery from home. So the practiced intellect, protected by the core principles of samadhama, uparama, and titiksha, is a steady compass and anchor, guiding you through the tempest with a calm and focus. The wisdom arises from the disciplined daily application of the principle, not just intellectual. I have understood samadhama, uparama, I can give a good talk. I have to check whether I am living into that state or not. The main obstacle is the default mind, an unripe ego, which prompts reactive and negative behaviors. You wake up in the morning, you had 6 and 7 hours of the sleep, but the moment you are awake, your mind goes to the past. That is the right time to use the mantra. I believe you all have been doing the practice. If you are not doing it, please start. So there comes the principle like sama, dhamma, uparama, and titiksha, protect and strengthen the intellect. First, I have to strengthen the intellect by the repeat practice, and that intellect will descend the knowledge in the intellect from the head to the heart, and from the heart to the hands. Hands means, I think, speak, and act out of samadhama and uparama. So 3H, head, heart, hands. Hands means, practical application. I'm not living in the chaotic world. I am still in the peace and happiness. With the samadhama, uparama, that is possible. If it is not possible, challenge me and challenge the teacher. We will discuss about it. We will discuss about it. So, core principle for mental fortitude. I'm changing my expression. Mental fortitude. Now the mind has changed. Why? Because there is a cognitive understanding, and you can easily apply sama. We discussed active peace. Dhamma, active peace outside. Active peace inside, active peace outside. Uparama, resting in the higher truth. Your mind is aware of the permanent peace and happiness or the real self. But because of the past impressions, there are 8 factors. I discussed briefly before that. Sometimes the body will not allow you to live into the state of the calmness. Sometimes your mind is overwhelmed with the reaction against someone. Mind does not allow you to, sometimes memory, sometimes past. So that is why we need a titiksha. We need 3 things in titiksha: endurance, resilience, equanimity. We need 3 aspects in titiksha: endurance, ability to tolerate unpleasant and undesired situations calmly. That is our endurance. So how do you think that it is an unpleasant and undesired situation? Because I convert event into an incident. I discussed that. And I am not aware of that. So let us first apply the titiksha, and then we will go to the higher aspect. Same thing with the resilience, the mental strength to recover from the setbacks and adapt to change effectively. You are hurt, the next moment you are calm. Resilience. That setbacks does not stay in your life for years together. Oh, thank God, Brandy, I can see you now. What happened? Oh, now your video is working. Thanks, God. So Otherwise, I was thinking that I will also start speaking without video. So, equanimity. The third aspect of the equanimity, the steady balance of the mind that remains calm and non-reactive. You see the slight difference. Endurance, resilience, equanimity. In equanimity, there is a steady balance of the mind. Somebody reacted to you and your mind has been able to maintain that calmness. If not, resilience. If not, endurance. If not, endurance. So that is very important. You have to maintain that. So I discussed about briefly. It goes so deeper in Gita that even by active peace, you enter into the state of equanimity of the mind, and that is equivalent to awakening. So I'm not taking up that before I take up other aspects. So Sama is active peace, we have understood. Dhamma is active peace inside, inner calm, external calm. Uparama. If you have not understood, you can go through the previous files. Then Uparama. Uparama, the third treasure, changes your daily life and living. And fourth is the Titiksha. Fourth is the Titiksha. It can only happen, that is why I brought that topic 2 weeks ago. Why is the human birth considered rare? Can you remember? The human birth is rare because it provides the unique opportunity for self-inquiry and liberation. Unlike other forms of life, a dog and a mosquito cannot have that opportunity. Am I using that opportunity? So if you question, am I using this opportunity, your default mind stops reacting. Just think of it. What is the greatest folly for a human being? What is the greatest folly? Greatest folly is neglecting our true purpose. I have to evolve. I'm evolving every day, with every situation, with every condition, with every event, with every relationship. I married 20 years ago, then divorced 10 years ago, then remarried. That is the greatest folly of the human being. This is what we have been thinking throughout the day. Oh, I had $1 million, I lost everything. Just sit down and I'll tell you the story. I'm not interested in listening to your story. No, I don't say it, but I just don't pay attention. Do you see? I should have a mental strength. That mental strength comes by samadhama uparama and titiksha. What is the true purpose of life according to our masters? True purpose is awakening to that and bringing an end to the suffering once and for all. Once and for all. I believe you are clear. So I should go ahead. So what happens? Recognize the rarity. Rare. I am a human being. It's a rare birth. I access. So you assess your priorities of your life. You assess priorities of the life. Peace is more important. Money is more important. If you are in extreme stress and you earn more money, that money will also be lost. I can bet you. And it had happened. You might have experienced in your life. What to do? Cultivate discernment and dispassion. You see, I'm just connecting all the dots. That is how you have to think. Cultivate. I told you this guy. He said, no, I have reached to that state. Now it is done. I am not interested in attending your session. So after 4 weeks, the person requested me again. So let me have again a private lesson. It is still, the journey is too far. When I told him, he did not agree. But when he recognized, one thing is very good. He is a seeker. That is why he recognized. He returned again to me or to somebody else. So that is because of that he understood the importance of this journey. And then journey means that you seek guidance. You understand these principles from a teacher who teaches you through the text. Why? What teaches? Self-inquiry. You stay committed. And when you stay committed, ultimately you find the change and transformation in your life. Transformation. I would say since the age of 19, now it is 67. I'm still into the same journey. Whether you say you are building an inner strength, whether you say you are cultivating resilience and responsibility, whether you say it is the wisdom in action, these are the different words. You have to inquire, contemplate, reflect. This is what the Master has been saying. Master has been talking about it. And I gave one example. Endurance, ability to tolerate unpleasant and undesired situation, relations. Don't stretch too far. If you are a woman, it's about the women liberation, how dare my husband say, oh, because he is your husband, that is why he is saying. So you should have the ability to tolerate unpleasant thought. Then contemplate and reflect. Get rid of the duality and a conflict from your mind. Resilience. Until you reach to the equanimity. Whether it's a senior or anyone. The ability to tolerate unpleasant, life continuously presents dualities and hardship. And endurance is the capacity of the mind for calmness and acceptance. Samadhama Brahma. See that? Resilience, I gave an example of bamboo. Bamboo which bends in a storm but never breaks. When you break, then you will tell the stories that what happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago to my life. Someone cheated because you are weak. That is why someone cheated. Someone exploited you because you allowed to get exploited. Christina will not agree because modern psychology says something else. But the fact is that I allowed to be exploited. Why? Because I had some expectations from you, so I agreed with it. And equanimity, when a loved one is angry, the correct response is to wait out the storm and not provoke them, even if you are 100% right. Then only we can settle into Sama, Dama, Uparama, and Titiksha. All the four together I have covered, and then we will cover next session. We will cover the fifth treasure. So let us start with our Samir, you want to speak? Yes.
Sir, I have been noticing one thing that you told one thing priority. Priority word you use. So priority, see, we are from any we took birth and we had animal instinct in the gift
Yeah.
of the birth.
Yeah.
Means we didn't bring all these animal instinct. We brought this with us. We didn't think about all these things. These were there. But as we start doing this Eastern wisdom, then our priority, as we see that Eastern wisdom is more powerful, and it is the happiness is everlasting, and it has means it is we compare the animal instinct with the Eastern wisdom. So our priority slowly changes, and we start mind starts settling into Eastern wisdom, and priority and value, or you can say value we give the, and we start giving value to peace, happiness. So this is the beauty of Eastern wisdom, that we we know the truth, that this is the correct path. I would say like that. Means
Beautifully.
from human instinct to the peace and happiness and Eastern wisdom. It takes us there.
We need to contemplate and reflect. You all have been doing it. This is another beautiful way of contemplation. Priority, where I should give the priority. Who can decide it? The human intellect. The animal mind does not decide the priority. We know they are they are programmed by the nature. They don't have an independent intellect. It's a beautiful way.
Sir, I want to say one thing. Then we start realizing that human birth is so valuable.
Save,
When
yes.
we go into this Eastern wisdom, no, we start. Otherwise, we are in anxiety. We are in all types of trouble. So we don't give value to our birth. But when we
Beautiful.
realize all these things, then we start giving value to the human birth. That how lucky we are that we got human birth and we can do all these things which animals can't.
Beautifully said. How are you, Dennis?
Um, some thoughts on repetition. You mentioned in the beginning that that is a great tool that changes the mind, and we have a choice what to repeat. If we are unconscious, if we don't use our intellect, then the thoughts of anxiety, reaction, fear repeat themselves automatically, and they multiply, and the mind changes, further changes towards more anxiety, more reactions, more fear, and then it hides uh, these inner treasures and doesn't allow them to manifest. But if we follow our discerning intellect, and if we're able to discern that repeating default thoughts unconsciously is harmful and only leads to suffering, then we can use repetition in our favor. Uh, we can repeat mandala charan, we can repeat our practice, we can repeatedly superimpose wisdom over the default mind and default thoughts. And here is the link with the detection, because the default mind will always ask how many times I have to repeat my practice and how many times I have to chant Mangala Charan. And we have to tolerate these questions from the default mind using detection, because intellect knows that I have to repeat as many times as needed until the mind changes and until I am awakened.
Beautifully. The last point is very beautiful. The default mind, which is so habitual, instinctive, repetitive, brings in anxiety and chaos. That mind is asking how many times I have to do the practice. And to get rid of, no, I have to do it until I live in samadhamma uparama in the diksha. And even after that, I will continue. So who says this? This is your intellect says. Now, whether the intellect has a power to take over the mind or not, that depends on you and your practice and your understanding. That is why the master explains differently. Beautifully said. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. I feel this extreme gratitude, Girish, not just to you, but to this whole Eastern Wisdom family on this call and others, just because the knowledge, not only that you share with us, that you share with others on this call, that they share with us, is just phenomenal. Dennis and Samid, your comments just really resonate. The interesting, Drew was reading an article the other day about, I think it was like the last 150 years, society has not had their elders around them like they used to in previous years. So we've lost that transition of knowledge. And I think that, when you look at it very logically, this is Eastern wisdom that was developed however many thousands of years ago and has evolved. And it's been lost in society, and we've lost it. And so this is a major reprogramming to get back to where our, and I can't think of the word, but our core being needs to be. So I look at it like that, and it's just phenomenal, the tools that come with this. I mean, we've been talking six treasures for a while right now, and every time we talk about it, there's some new nugget that comes out of it for me. So that's my experience. Thank you.
Beautifully said. You picked up one point, gratitude. So when the intellect thinks and reflects on the gratitude, it moves faster and changes the default mind. That is how the Eastern wisdom explains. When I'm filled with what exactly is the gratitude? Am I able to speak without my larynx in the tongue and the throat and the air that I'm breathing in? No. Did I arrange and put them into order? No. This is a gratitude. I see you. This is also a gratitude. I have the eyes given by the existence. This is gratitude. I'm able to say and speak and communicate. That is also a gratitude. Thanks God existence allowed me to live today and give a lesson. That is also a gratitude. Can I feel that sense of gratitude all the time? Sama Dhamma Uparamanta take charge, just a play. You will play with them. If we live with that sense of gratitude. And then we need not to think of unripe ego and etc. Oh, it's already gone. You're right. Beautifully said. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, sir. I've liked everything that everyone said, and also I just find that this whole journey allows us, with the gratitude and the discernment, to end up at a place where everything truly is an opportunity. A friend asked me maybe a year ago, how did you forgive this person? And I said, well, I actually, it kind of made, I just stepped back a little bit and I said, well, I don't think I ever really thought about forgiving. I was looking at myself and the opportunity for me to grow. And that's what helped me. And this whole journey, because it's really when something becomes an incident in our lives, we really do look to blame or put the onus somewhere else. And we always have a part in it. Not that we deserve the incident. It's not like that, not to be a martyr or anything like that, but to actually look at where we played a role in that incident.
Beautifully said. One point that you see that I will talk about that in greater detail. How did you forgive others? You look at yourself. Are you in peace, in the joy? Itself is a forgiveness. I don't have anything to deal with you. I don't need to react. I don't need to say anything against you. So that itself is an attitude of forgiveness. We do it intellectually. I have forgiven you. Who the hell you are to forgive anyone? So just think in that way. I believe it is Brandy who is on phone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We all can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Great. Okay, good. I apologize for dipping in and out. The place where I am is having internet issues. I don't know. I think for me today, as much as I could hear of the lesson, but also connecting to other lessons and what people have said, it's really about the repetition and the vigilance of waking up every day and the first thing saying to the mind, listen up, right? Like, this is how it's going to go. This is where my focus is going to be. And then at the end of the day, checking back in, and when we fall short of our mission, our focus, the onus is on us. It's not on other people and situations and what happens. And sometimes for the unripe ego and the default mind, that's a tough pill to swallow. Like, oh, okay, well, I had a big part in this not going the way I planned because I didn't stick to my plan today.
Beautiful.
So it's a daily beginning and end, daily commitment.
Ah, beautiful. So you are saying that you are doing it daily. Repeat here means, again, I'm saying knowledge and practice. So knowledge lives in the intellect. And the intellect means that you understand it. How you understand it? By contemplation and reflection, followed by the practice. And then, so when to repeat? When you are in peace, repeat it. When to repeat? When you are in anxiety, repeat it. When you reacted, now you repeat it. After reaction, we become aware. I reacted. Repeat it. Yes, Christina, what you have to say?
Thank you. I have a wondering as we evolve or maybe push to evolve, if more unfavorable situations arise, for us to be able to come back to the appreciation of our human birth and and those qualities that we lose.
Yeah. One is angry and reacting over you, and you instantly remind, oh, I have a human birth, so I have a choice. If the guy is reacting, I also have a choice to react, but I have also a choice to respond. That is the human birth. That is the rare human birth. Yes. But question is, if you remember, then only it will happen. But how do you remember? If you do practice samadhama upramayantari. So you have to link it. You have to think in your mind how to link it. How should I remember? Otherwise, normally people don't remember. When it comes to near and dear ones, we don't remember. When it comes to the strangers, the boss will fire me. So, how are you, sir? We are very soft. So we have to understand that. Yes, Vaibhav.
Thank you, sir. So today's lesson, it expands the scope of picture in my head. When we are suffering, there are different kinds of suffering that we face. Like something which is coming from outside, what is happening, which we have no control, or sometimes it's happening from the body. There's a limitation of the body, or there's a pain in the body which is happening, and we are suffering from that. Or it is emotional or mental, like some situation which is keep on running out of memory or something which is in the head. And only enduring, always we keep a fight in the head. Like there are times when we apply equanimity, sometimes we apply endurance, and sometimes we apply resilience. Though we have failed, we come back. And it keeps the mind at rest. That any situation, we are not fighting with our own mind, but we keeping the mind at rest and then solving the problem. So that was
Beautifully
I understood
said.
that.
Yes, beautifully said. I could see that maybe in your workplace we need all the three all the time. Endurance, sometime endurance is required. Sometime, depending on the state of the mind, resilience is required, and sometime the equanimity takes birth. You are not at all impacted. The child says, you buy a toy plane for a child, and the child says, "Dad, just hold on. Plane has crashed." Equanimity, you don't take it as, oh, yes, yes, yes. You also play with it. It's equanimity. But endurance, endurance, sometime you fell down. I need to tolerate now. Not only others also criticize me, I have to tolerate. So we have to constant, consistent contemplation, reflection helps you to reveal these knowledge and wisdom can be applied easily. Let us close your eyes. We will be doing the practice, the stage one. Stage one has 3 steps: place, position, and posture. Now I believe that, just by saying place, position, and posture, you enter into that state of awareness through an intellect to the body. Same thing with being comfortable. Your mind, intellect says, oh, that is the instruction. Move the mind from the top of the head to the toes on the skin and enter into an experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Finished. And then being carefree, because your mind is looking inside, and then it can easily be aware of observer and observed. You see the point here. What I want to convey in today's practice, I see you. I don't have even the name in my head in alphabets, but still I know you. You see, it's a non-verbal cognition. I believe you are understanding what I'm saying. Non-verbal experience. Can I have a non-verbal experience of place, position, and posture? Can I have a non-verbal experience of sensation, comfort, and steadiness? It is being comfortable. And then observer and observed. And then Sarvesham. In that are the precious moments of your mind, where the mind is withdrawn inside. It wants to settle. So we settle with Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Because your mind is clear, so there's an upsurge of positive emotion. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Is that a point of absorption? Yes, one point of self-absorption is your emotion. And then we are skipping the 6 neighbors awareness. Stage 2, you just become aware of the sensation, comfort, steadiness, knower and the known, place, position, and posture. And in that state, you are looking deep inside the forehead in the space at any point. I said any point in the space. At any point in the space, you are basically aware and attentive of the space within, by which you can let go of the thoughts that are coming and going. And that situation has you created And now you start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly. And then I gave you some tips also. Do you remember? When you inhale, the belly expands. When you exhale, the belly contracts or squeezes. Second point is the long, deep in the hissing breath. It is not a silent breath. We don't want to fall into sleep or laziness. That is why we have a hissing breath. And then you can apply titiksha, the endurance here. The mind will object to it. No, I cannot do it. I don't want to do it. No, Lord, please do it. I was talking about applying the knowledge and the practice. You are not fighting with the mind. I think someone discussed that. So apply this. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly, inhalation and exhalation. And what will happen when you put the endurance here? Endurance lives in the intellect, and then it is applied at the physical, mental level. Body is not conscious. Body has an extreme pain. Tolerate endurance lives in the intellect. Do you see that? Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. And then I picked up one word that I don't forget. So endurance converts into resilience. Then what happens? It's a joy of doing it. Because it turns into equanimity. I'm not affected whether I'm doing it for a longer period, shorter period, but just I'm doing for the sake of doing. That state, breathing practices helps us to reach to that state. Patanjali says, tatakshiyate prakasha varnam. That is the meaning of removing the veil of ignorance. You remove the veil of intolerance. Oh, that is what the Patanjali says, yes. In the Yoga Sutra, there are 2 sutras. The benefit of the breathing practices. Tadakshiyate prakasha varnam, dharana sucho yogyata manasa. You get a remarkable focus. So I'm already pointed out. You are looking deep inside the space. So the mind getting absorbed into that. That is how we have to do the breathing practices for succeeding in any meditation. But as we are simply doing it, obviously, we can talk about increase in oxygen concentration. It helps the brain. No, I want to be meditating. So that is how our masters explain. Continue. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. And now allow the breath to return to normal. And when you say it is the flow of the breath, check if the flow of the breath is equal or not. Both doesn't make any, because you are already have done the practice before. So you're just looking at the breath, the flow of the breath, the feeling, the sensation. Until this point, stays 2. But the moment you start dropping Om Shanti on the breath, going in and out, you transition to the stage 3. So in the stage 2, you can extend it by yourself. When you are doing on your own, you can wait until you see that both the flow of the breath becomes equal. We are not doing that, we will be doing that. So now the dynamic, you are the dynamic state, dynamic breath is dynamic, obviously it is a movement. So on the moving breath, you are dropping Om Shanti in and out. You see, so here we are making another kind of a progress. If you see it, and you can see it clearly. I know everyone, you have been doing it for a long. So now you see, breath, the flow of the breath is natural, no change. On that breath, on the track of the breath, you are dropping Om Shanti, as if you are traveling in a train. And now drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. Some of you will find dropping Om Shanti on the breath is easier than dropping Om Shanti on 16 segments of fingers. These segments are static. And sometimes people find it. So we will explore that deeply, step by step in our following sessions. Then what will happen? Basically, why I am saying so. I will just speak and you will enter into meditation. Means what? We will prove what the master says, that meditation or mindfulness is an effortless natural process. It does not need to make an effort. Means what? You move from lower level of awareness to the higher, to the higher, to the highest. That is, then what? Oh, we can be in the state of meditation anytime, anywhere, all the time, in all the locations. I believe you might have noticed the way I use the mantra Om Shanti. And now move the mind. We are still in stage 3. Move the mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle of any color and start dropping Om Shanti on the each side of a triangle, moving it clockwise and anti-clockwise. You see that is the third way of dropping the Om Shanti. So even the triangle is static, but we want to move. It takes time, clockwise and anti-clockwise, and so here I said what, sync. So when you find this thing, that is what I always repeat. I will qualify that with a deeper state. So the moment it sings smooth, you start singing. We are transitioning into the stage 4, singing mentally, pushing the mind deep inside the core of cave of your heart. And there you check. Mind seems to stop. Everything seems to stand still. Yes, you say Shanti and do nothing. You are already in the stage number 4. So there we experience the knower and the known. Who is the knower? You or doer? Doer is absorbed into what it is doing, self-absorption. Patanjali again talks about that kind of meditation. So we strictly adhere to these principles. You adjust. It doesn't mean that thoughts are about feeling or you are not aware. You are aware. Only in unconscious state or sleep or coma you are unaware. And throughout the meditation, the awareness is still there. Yes, we may have on the other side, we may have many visions and colors, images we let us watch. So here your that principle of being carefree comes. Any vision, colors, etc., experiences takes place. Why? So you are free from any danger in practicing meditation. If you get carried away by those images and colors, then we have lot of challenges to have. You can also chant mentally. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Do you see the Shanti echoes deep inside you? What that indicates that my mind is living within. That's a good experience. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Stay there and check. Is the mind ready to go out or it wants to stay? We have to reach to a point where it becomes challenging for you to return from this state. You are conscious. What I want to convey to you that we are fully aware and it is difficult for us to return. There is another option. We are carried away by the hallucination and it is difficult to return. What are those? I left the body. If you leave the body, then you are dead. Leave the body. Unwanted, unnecessary mysticism has been attached to this. You are fully conscious. You are aware. So we have lot of, you see that I feel this wave was passing like this. But we are in total control. Bring your mind to the right hand, feel the sensation. Your mind on the left hand, feel the sensation. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside and stay there for a few seconds and see. Awakening means the highest awareness, highest consciousness. It doesn't mean red light, blue color, etc., etc. And then bring the hands down. Christina, how are you?
Thank you. I felt like I was experiencing sort of this full embodiment of the real self.
Beautiful.
Complete separation.
Beautiful. How are you, Samir?
Very good meditation means very peaceful, and I was totally listening to you, no sleep.
Beautiful.
Total darkness was there. Very few thoughts, very here and there, just not affected, no impact of the thoughts.
Beautiful. Good. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Very deep meditation. I was aware, I heard, and the only thing I observed is when we were in the heart, is my heart rate was extremely low and slow. So thank you.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Where heart rate drops down. Yes, beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. I was deep, absorbed, just listened to every word and enjoyed each stage.
Beautiful. Yes, that is what it should happen. Yes, Brandy.
Thank you. The gift of my meditation practice today was the reminder that we can be in meditation all the time, even when we're up and around and doing things.
Yes. Yes. Why? Because the real self is me. It is my nature. Yes, beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
Comfortable meditation with full awareness of the infinite darkness and all the sensations and thoughts, but detached from these, and was very peaceful. Thank you.
Beautiful. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So mind was calm, it was aware, seeing the thoughts are coming but not being carried by them. So it was a peace.
Beautiful. Everyone did it wonderfully well. Thank you very much. We'll meet again in our next lesson.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.